Of all of the famous mob bosses and outlaws in the history of the U.S., there was one mob boss who was so rich, so powerful, and so famous that he commanded the attention of the world and made even the police afraid. This man was Al Capone.
In our journey to find out who Al Capone was and why he was so infamous, we brought in multiple experts for interview. Some are only available via phone call. To understand the man who was Al Capone, we have to go into his childhood. In 1899, he was born to an immigrant family in Brooklyn. While Capone, he was originally good in school initially. However, he lagged behind and had to repeat 6th grade. One day during that repetition of the grade level, a teacher punished him for insolence, and Capone struck back. Al, what are you doing? You know that's not allowed. What are you doing? Get your work done.
Alright, here.
You're getting detention.
No.
Yes, you are. You're gonna go. You've been skipping out all this time, and you're gonna go to detention now, okay? Oh, that's it.
How did Al Capone start his illegal operations?
Well, what he did was, after he hit the teacher, he moved and he met two people by the names of Frankie Yale and Johnny Torrio. They ran illegal operations in bars and joined street gangs, but they didn't really do much crime there. They were obviously part of a gang, but there wasn't much to do.
Did the gang have a name?
Not that I know of. When Al Capone was 19, he married May Coughlin and moved to Baltimore. There, Capone tried to make his life right. However, his father passed away, and he worked with Johnny again in Chicago. This expert was not able to meet up face-to-face, so we gave him a phone call.
After Johnny Torrio left Chicago after an attempt on his life by a rival gang, Capone took over and continued his racketeering and gambling business. He gained around about $100 million each year, $60 million from selling alcohol. To keep his power, Capone ordered shootings of multiple rival bosses, such as the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, when his men who were dressed up as police officers shot rival gang members.
The following is a dramatic recreation of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
Please, get along.
Man, not again.
How was Al Capone caught?
So, after the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, the public turned against Capone, and this led the federal government to come after him, but they could only get him on the counts of tax evasion. He was prosecuted on the count of 22 income tax evasions, and after his trial, he was sentenced to 11 years in prison. He was first sent to a prison in Atlanta, Georgia, but he was then sent to Alcatraz in 1934 after being caught bribing the guards. While in Alcatraz, Capone offered to pay for Alcatraz to be added onto by making the island bigger so they would have more space. And after serving 6.5 years, Capone was released from prison and admitted to a mental hospital in Baltimore because of his dementia. He lived his last days in Miami with his wife and died of a heart attack on January 25th, 1947. In 1986, Geraldo Rivera attempted to open Al Capone's vault on live TV.
here's his revisiting of opening the vault as we cannot download the full hour and 30-minute show.
The idea was to open the vault on live international television.
I'm Geraldo Rivera, and you're about to witness a live television event. A massive concrete vault has been discovered. Some think it belonged to none other than the notorious Al Capone. Well, tonight, for the first time, that vault is going to be opened live.
Well, what happened that night 20 years ago made pop cultural history and made me the punchline of a million jokes, some of which are still being told. Today, for the first time since it aired in April 1986, here's a portion of the secrets of Al Capone's vaults.
Now, what, if anything, that vault contains, we don't know. This is an adventure you and I are going to be taking together.
But when all was said and done, all I'd found was an old stop sign and a couple of empty gin bottles.
It seems, at least up to now, that we've struck out with the vault. I'm disappointed about that, as I'm sure you are.
Then I swallowed my pride and kept my word.
I promised all the critics that if we didn't find anything, I'd sing a song. So, Chicago, Chicago, that Hovland town. All right, I'm going. I'll see you.
I was humiliated and deeply embarrassed. Then the next morning, the ratings started coming in. And the telephone in my hotel room where I was hiding out would not stop ringing. The mystery of Al Capone's vaults was, and still is, the highest rated syndicated special in the history of television.